Hi, Queen.
Hi.
Alrighty, well, we know that you're going to be graduating May 29th. Whoa, hey. So I know you're super excited about that. Anyways, I just wanted to find out from you how your homeschool experience went.
Went great. I really enjoyed it. I think it was very beneficial to me as far as advancing my education and staying on track.
Okay, so can you, when you say beneficial, can you lament on that a little bit more?
I think that homeschooling kind of gave me the one-on-one that I needed,
Okay,
whereas with public school, kids tend to get lost in the classroom with so many other students.
okay. On a more personal note, I would like to ask you, in particular, how did homeschool affect your self esteem?
Um, I think homeschooling gave me a higher self-esteem. I think that I was more comfortable conversing with people on an academic level as
Okay.
well as a social level. But I think it also helped me to where I can communicate with people my own age, but I was also at a level where I could communicate with adults because I was advanced and because I was already surrounded by adults.
When you say surrounded by adults, explain.
Well, because I'm in community college
Okay.
and all of my classmates are like adults, so the people that I'm dealing with on the day to day basis are all older than me, and I think that kind of gave me a maturity
Okay.
when I'm communicating and socializing.
Okay. Gotcha. So I know that you visited Harvard. Why don't you tell us about that experience?
Um, Harvard, I went to Harvard Square over the summer. I was actually on a trip to the National Congress for Future Medical Leaders and Physicians, and I really enjoyed it. It was in Harvard Square, and I got to see the university whilst I was there. It was a very beautiful university. They had a lot of different sculptures and statues and stained glass windows. The university was massive. I got to see a lot of the students and educators. We went on a Saturday, so it was really busy. It was fun.
Okay. Now I've witnessed your it's actually a photo album you have with over 30 universities inviting you to attend. How do you feel about that?
I feel great. I feel really good. There were a lot of good universities, and they did offer a lot of good scholarships. I decided not to go apply for them because only because at my age I have to live at home. So I didn't want to go to an out of state university.
Okay. And how old are you?
15,
And how old were you when you started community college?
13.
Okay. All right. Well, do you have any advice for any children that may be going into homeschooling this coming school year for the first time?
I would advise them to look into different programs, look at volunteer work they can do, just different things to where they still get the social aspect that you have with public school, interacting with people.
Okay. And what about the parents that are interested in homeschooling, but maybe fearful to give it a try? What would you say to them?
I would tell them to give it a go. I think that one of the biggest benefits of homeschooling is that you are in charge of your child's education. You know exactly what they're learning, you know exactly what they need, and you can also get a lot of resources when you're a homeschooling parent. There are a lot of free books and different things you have to check out what they offer in your state, but it's a lot less intimidating than it may seem.
Okay. What do you plan on majoring in?
I majoring in cellular and molecular biology, and I'm minoring in political science.
Okay. And why are you minoring in political science?
Growing up, I've always gone back and forth between being a doctor and a lawyer, and now I'm in college and I still have the same dilemma, and I've decided that I want to be both, and I'm going to try and get into an accelerated JDMD program, which is a program where you go to law school and medical school, but instead of the 7 years it would take you to do them separately, you do them in 6 years.
Okay.
And you spend the first 2 years at medical school,
Mhm.
and then you do the 3 years of law school and get your law degree, and then you go back and finish the last year of medical school.
Interesting. And so, what do you plan on doing after that?
Well, I plan on working as a doctor. I have considered getting my PhD, and if I do, it'll be in psychology. But I would have to do my residency as a doctor. Eventually, I want to open my own practice. I want to be a pediatric neurologist.
Okay. Interesting.
And I also want to look into practicing law, because I think if I like law, I do want to eventually become a judge. And if I like medicine more, I'll eventually open my own practice.
Okay, so when you just want both, you just want to accomplish both, and then you'll see which one fares better with you. But you know you're interested in both equally. Gotcha. And so some of the classes, I know what you haven't been homeschooled, you didn't do the traditional track as far as the different courses to take. Can you expound on that a little bit and tell me how like the different courses you took added to you, or?
I think that with me being homeschooled, like a lot of schools have different requirements where you have to take these many extracurricular activities, you have to take 1 year of art, you have to take gym. And as a homeschool student, I can focus on just what I need, because I know like a lot of times the biggest complaint students have with this school system is that they're taking classes they don't need. So with me, I was able to take the courses that will prepare me toward my career goals, and those were maths, sciences. I started progressing on those faster, and I did my English debate as far as law goes.
Public speaking as well, right?
Public speaking, yes.
Yeah.
The classes that were not as important to me, I had to take them, of course, to graduate, but they weren't as pushed as like history, social studies, art, music, those kind of things.
Now, I happen to think history is very important. And so, and I know that you have had a lot of history, a lot of years of history. It may be different from the history taught in the schools,
Yes.
but I know that you've had a lot of history lessons. And why don't you expound on that a little bit?
Well, when I say history, I wasn't completely taught, whereas in school, when they say history, it's a default for the history of the United States and Europe. And with my history, it was more of a world history.
Okay.
I learned about the United States and Europe, but I also learned about Africa. I also learned about Asia. I learned of the history of Mexico. I learned about the South America, Spanish culture. And I also got to take different languages. I got to take both Spanish and Chinese.
Awesome. And can you greet everyone in both Spanish and Chinese?
Okay, so for Spanish, I would say "Hola, ¿cómo estás?", which is "Hi, how are you?" And in Chinese, that would be "Ni hao ma," for "Hi, how are you?"
Okay. And that Chinese, is that Mandarin or Cantonese?
Mandarin Chinese.
And that's the most largely spoken Chinese here in America?
The second largest language.
Gotcha. Interesting. Alrighty. Well, I know you're very, very busy with your studying and getting ready with graduation and all. So I thank you for giving me this time to ask you these questions, and keep up the good work.